Well, hello everyone. Here we are on a Saturday here coming at you from Cave Creek, Arizona, and beautiful day out here today. And hope everyone's weathering in okay and moving through this this world we're in right now. I know we're still have so many uncertain things, and hopefully we can unplug here for about an hour and enjoy some music and connecting, and all of us pray for for better things to lie ahead for us all. I have a lot of really cool things here for you tonight, and it's particularly exciting for me because this is number 23 for me, and I'm trying to do all different material every single show, and lately I've been doing a lot of memorabilia, and I got some really cool memorabilia for you today, so this is going to be cool. I also got a new original that I've written. I've got 8 originals that I've written since we've went into quarantine here with this COVID-19, and it's just one of those kind of inspiring time where you can kind of get lost in being creative, and it helps you cope and get through things better. So that's what I've kind of how I moved forward in my own course. The trio you just heard there was a very, very special trio. I mean, I'm telling you, these guys, that's Don Moio on drums, my good friend, and Bob Lasier, both dear friends, and they're superb players. I mean, absolutely the best. If you listen to this one-note Samba again, and listen to Dom's solo. He plays the whole tune on his solo, man. It's just so good. It's just so good. And Bob Lasier always got your back. The bass player knows a million tunes, and anything you throw at him, he's right there. And if he doesn't know it, he knows it by the, 2 bars into it. It's extraordinary. So I'm really blessed to have had the opportunity to work a lot with those guys, and many other fine musicians here in Arizona. And I have, as you all know, I'm from Boston originally, and I've had a lot of memorabilia, a lot of great times back there, and I still have very, very close connection. It's still a big part of my home there. I was there a lot of years. I've been out here in Arizona for 17 years now, and then prior to that I was in New Hampshire for about 11 years, and then I grew up in Boston, so it's kind of, I've been kind of moving around a little bit, but it seems to be all the players, all the musicians find each other. So we're going to start off today with a very special hello out there to, for anyone that knows Cave Creek here, Local Jonny's is a landmark. And Johnny is just a great guy, and it's a great guy, and today is a very special day for him. It's another one of his, I was informed by his informant, and then I'm sure Johnny will know, that it's his 50th birthday again. A special 50th birthday again. So we want to wish Johnny at Local Jonny's a very happy birthday, and if you ever get to Cave Creek visiting, it's the place to go. It's just it's kind of a real nice neighborhood, local vibe, and they really care. It's a really cool place, and it's close to my house. It's really just a mile down the road. But we're gonna wish him a happy birthday right now. Happy birthday, Johnny, out there. We want to wish you a good one, and hope, let's see, who do we got in here? I want to say hi to everyone. Let's see, we got my brother from Florida, Fort Myers, and it's just great. It's a great way to stay connected. And Jimmy Page, another hardcore listener from New Hampshire, and we're good friends, and he's kind of a great vocalist too. Susan Hafner is an old student of mine. Rosie's a dear friend here. We got Danny Doyle, wonderful musician here in town, and Tricia. And it's so good to see Tricia. Tricia was an old student, and again, a new student. So she just recently came back and did some studying. So we're really excited to do wonders with her. For those that don't know, I teach piano by video correspondence. I'm an artist for Earthworks Microphones. This is why this piano sounds so great coming out here. It's pretty special. So I'm honored to be part of that team. And I do a personalized correspondence. It's very, very different than anything out there. So if anyone's ever interested in doing any studying, please hit me up, and I'll tell you all about it. We can FaceTime, and we can chat, and any local people we can schedule some time here, and I could go over how it works. So, Mary Lou, good seeing you again. And let's see, Scott's in, and oh boy, it's good to see Gene and Ben. Love to you all. Big hugs through the screen here to the cats too. Yeah, some good friends, and we got Joanna. Hey, this is great seeing you, and Kurt. Yeah, man. So Kurt was the informant that told me about Johnny, and Johnny is kind of just a really good guy. So if you get up to Cave Creek again, go check it out. Great food and great vibe. It's really a cool place. So so happy birthday again, Johnny. And so I got a lot of things coming at you. Dave Landoni, my fellow cycler and great bass player from Boston, Jerry Wilson. Thank you all for coming in. And again, I got a lot of stuff here. So I'm going to play a tune, and I'm going to give you some really, really cool memorabilia. Waiting to see this coming up, okay? So anyway, the first tune, I'm going to dig deep a little bit. Kind of known for doing a lot of those older tunes. I was inspired by the great Dave McKenna, Scott Hamilton, Dick Johnson, Lou Colombo, all those guys back in Boston. And this is it's kind of an old tune called Rosetta. Check it out. Good seeing Enrique. Okay, man. Yeah, man. Good seeing you. Big hug to you. He's another great musician. Enrique Pantoja. You gotta check him out. I think I spelled your last name Pantoja. Phenomenal piano player, composer, and really great band. And he's all over. Yeah, you can find him all over YouTube too. He's a good friend. And anyway, we're gonna play some Rosetta for you right now. Here we go. Well, there you go, man. Rosetta. That's again a really, really old tune, and you know, it's a lot of fun to play these really old ones. I'm kind of dating myself a little bit. I learned that back when I was really young, man. Really, you know, it was, you know, just a big, you know, it was, man, it was like big influence on me and all these old guys. You know, now I'm one of them. So I'm kind of like, it's just definitely fun tune to play. Anyway, I'm going to give you a little bit of memorabilia around here. This is really, really going to be pretty cool. Okay, so I'm having fun. You know, I think everyone here has been kind of reflecting. You know, what a time to do so. You know, I'm going through photos and CDs and all kinds of recordings and, you know, gigs I've recorded. I got a whole cases of cassettes I'm going to kind of convert of all these great players I got a chance to play with when I was in Boston. But now we're going to go on to a particular time when I first got here to Arizona. I was teaching over at Glendale College and Paradise Valley College. And I became really good friends with Neil May. And Neil was a student of mine. He's still a very, very dear friend. And his family and himself, they own the Nellos restaurant. And it was just a wonderful little place right in Old Town Scottsdale, charming as could be. So Neil said to me during a lesson one time, he goes, "Man, I'd love to do, what about doing some music in my restaurant, you know?" I'm like, "Really? That sounds cool. It's a pizza place and kind of a cool vibe. It's a, you know, very busy part of town." And he wanted to put me in there every week. And I'm like, "No, I got a better idea. Let's rotate all the piano players in the valley here, you know?" I mean, and so we started off with a small group of rotation to keep everyone kind of salivating. But over a period of time, we had a lot of great players here. So, and they'd bring in their own following and their own bass player and drummer. So here is some memorabilia for you. Check this out. This is this right here is an interesting. What I'll do is on my when I finish the when I post this, I'll put these attachments so you can read these. These are really great stories. Nellos, you know, piano trios, a Tuesday's treat. You know, two who made it happen, and it was myself and Neil. We put it all together, and it turned out to be a very, very successful venture. And then we have, let's see, we have, next one is, here it is. It's been voted the top place in Arizona to hear jazz, and for 2 years. And this gig went on for a long time. And here is another very, very special shot of the three familiar cats. There we are again. We started off the show here with the jazz trio, playing one note samba. And here we are playing at Nellos and on a break. And this is back quite a few years ago, and it was a very, very special time. So again, we make these gigs, and we kind of hold them. It turned out to be one of the greatest gigs in town. So I got my water coming in here from my stewardess or waitress. Stewardess. I'm not flying yet. But anyway, thank you, Seema. My brother's not here. I'd be having my fourth beer, you know. No, it's like I see my brother. You know, I haven't seen my brother in a long time, and we go back. And I'm proud to say it's been 36 years for me, 30 going to 37. And me and my brother can tell you stories that would make your head spin, you know. But back in the days, growing up in the 70s and 80s, and we grew up real close. And great guy. Miss him. We were supposed to be over there in April to see my mom for her 92nd birthday, and I was unable to make it, so we got some catching up to do. So anyway, I got a lot of things I'm going to be playing for you tonight. I got a special original that I wrote. I'm going to do in a couple of tunes. And then I have a really great tune that I'm going to be featuring tonight from a good friend of mine, Doug Hammer. And he's got this incredible piece of music he did. And I asked him if he wouldn't mind I would play it for him tonight. So I'm going to do that for you, too. So this next tune I got pulled up is a kind of an old tune. It's called Tenderly. Here we go. Well, there you have it. Tenderly. Tenderly is such a great tune. Again, an old tune. Let's see who we got in here. Oh man, Ted LaLiberte. Ted, you got to stick around for this one, man. This is a special on Ryan Delaney pretty soon. So I'm going to spoil my surprise, but Ted was a very good friend. A lot of you might know this, but I was a ski instructor for about, maybe 6, I don't know, Ted was 6 years or something, 7 years, over at King Pine Ski Area, and it was right near my house, and all my kids were racing and they were skiing since they were like babies, so it was really it was definitely a very, very special time in my life, and I was out on the hill every day skiing, and Ted was one of the senior instructors there, and he was always out working with me and helped me figure stuff out. I'm like this enthusiastic skier. Everything I do is off to the 10th degree. It's like, I have to like master it. So it's, but anyway, I had fun doing it. All my kids grew up with the sport. And so Ryan Delaney is going to be a feature here. So I got a very, very special thing, the very last tune of the show. So you got to stick around for this. This is unbelievable. I went through Memorabilia, and it's just priceless. And Ted will appreciate this. Can I tell you a story? His son was part of the gang. It was just really wild, I used to take the kids. I used to have knee highs, called knee highs. So I have all these little kids that before they go to kindergarten, afternoon kindergarten. So I have them on the hill at 10 o'clock, and I have all these kids that are on the mountain. So and picture this, having like 5 to 7 kids, and you have to keep them all together and get them on the chairlift, and they're all in kindergarten, man. So then I get them in the car, and I'm driving them to school and leaving them off. They all get helmet heads, and they're all sweating, and then they go to school after skiing all morning with a wild man musician, But it was definitely a fun time. My sister-in-law Sherry's in. Great seeing you, Sherry. Love you. And again, Rike Pantoja is a wonderful. Go check his work out. This is an opportunity for us all to be heard, and this is the great marvel of our technical stuff. So check him out. He's really a marvelous player and a good guy, really good guy. And the great thing is we both studied with the great Charlie Banakis. So we study with Charlie, so we have a million notes we can compare, and we have to get together. We're going to need like hours to just hang and talk about voicings and and all kinds of stuff. But this next tune is a special tune that I wrote. I wrote 8 tunes, and this was the 8th one that I wrote during quarantine. And this one's called Frogantine Blues. I played it Thursday night for the YouTube show, and it was it's a really fun one to play. I can't wait to do it with a horn player or in a trio or something. But this has a story behind it. For those that might have heard it, I'm going to say it again for those that are new here. So this started out with this particular character that's in my courtyard, and he's a cool kind of all, rusted iron and Mexican in my Mexican little courtyard here, but I found him at a really cool place in Scottsdale, like a yard sale thing, and it had no leg on him. I said, I'll take him, and I figured I had this kind of I was going to save this thing, so I took it to the local welder across the street here. And the guy said it was freaking him out because he said he actually thought like he was operating on someone. So I look over and I see this frog laying down on the table while he's getting his leg put back on, and I stare at this thing outside of my courtyard because I work outside here a lot, and here we are, me and my Frogantine Blues is my next original, and so it's really kind of all of my originals have some kind of. I had Forever April seemed like it was going on forever. We had More Tomorrows, like every day was like a tomorrow. It was like they're all blending together. I mean, I had all these kind of Orange Umbrella. I mean, I have a cool orange umbrella where I was writing music out here on my deck. So it's almost surrounded by all this kind of stuff of being home all the time. So, but anyway, this one coming up is called Frogantine Blues. Hope you enjoy. Here we go. Well, there you have it, Frogantine Blues. And again, it was it's just a fun one to play. And I got some good things happening. Let's see, who do I got in? Who do we got here? Yeah, my brother. And John Ragusa, another great students. And good seeing you, Ellie. And Pam, good seeing you, man. You know, and it's Pam's a great pianist here, and she's just live streaming too, so we were good buds. And it's just so fun, you know, so fun to have everyone spreading the love through all this. We got some very interesting things coming up. Like I say, I have another. I want to remind everyone again, they might have checked in later. We wish Johnny over at Local Jonny's a very happy 50th birthday again. So I'm assuming he's been 50 for a few years, but we'll find out. But anyway, Johnny's a great guy. I met with him not that long ago, and we hung out, and he showed me the new things he's doing it in his restaurant. Beautiful neighborhood kind of vibe. Best, you know, salmon salads, and you know, if you come to town here, you gotta check them out. Just really cool, and it's really close to my house, so it's kind of I can walk there practically. Anyway, this next tune, I'm going to kind of go into something before I play a couple more originals. I'm going to play something very familiar. Okay. And this is, we're going to go into, let's see if I have any other things I get. Oh, and then the very last one, I got some really cool memorabilia. And if Ted Liberté is still here, Ted's my skiing buddy. And you got to see this about Ryan, my son, who's now 23. But we're going to see Ryan when he's 5. So a little preface of what's coming up. But I had so much fun going through all my photo albums and putting together this show to show you and show you how this one of the tunes was inspired by this little kid. So anyway, this next tune is entitled Green Dolphin Street, a familiar tune. See you right back. Well, there you have it. That's a very familiar tune and called Green Dolphin Street. And I'm going to pull up right now. And I just finished writing this out, you know. And I got to tell you a little bit about this story. This is really a beautiful piece of music. I was very, very touched. Well, before I get on here, I'm going to just acknowledge everyone here. Thank you, Rike. Yeah, definitely. He's got to take off, but great seeing. Go check him out, Rike Ponchoja. He's really a fabulous writer, and he has some really great YouTubes. And Pam's asking where my tip jar is. Again, this is one of my situations here. I'm very blessed where I've had a pretty. I've been resourceful. I mean, I've been teaching like by correspondence since 1989. So I developed this way back when of course we didn't have the crisis, the world crisis. So with everything going on right now, my heart goes out for many friends, many people I know who lost their jobs, lost businesses and everything. And I'm holding on okay, lost all my gigs, but everything's cool. So I'm happy to do this right now and put it out there. But thank you anyway for everyone. Thanks, Pam, anyway, but it's cool. It's not necessary. I'm happy to do this. And it really makes me feel, I look forward to this. I'll tell you, being an entertainer and being out playing all the time, man, it's like you're lost without this, you're without being able to be playing and being heard. I've already reached out to Chris Stewart, and I'm hoping to be able to get Chris up here and maybe get Jerry Donato and get different people where we can do some duos here. So that's going to be really some fun. So that's coming, and I'm going to also be doing some educational things on my YouTube channel. So I'll be posting that too. So always you can see when I'm going to be. I'm hoping to be back here next Saturday. Now next Saturday is going to be a very, very special show for me because I'm going to feature all of my original compositions that I've written for this quarantine time. I get 8 of them, and they're all really quite good, and I'm really very proud of them. So a lot of them, I've written this stuff with a deep emotion and everything. So it's kind of like you're going to capture the moment over 2 months of writing music. So anyway, so keep that in mind here next Saturday. And I haven't announced it yet, but that's where I'm going to go with it. And so I'll be, but I'll also be on my YouTube channel Thursday night at 7 o'clock Mountain Standard Time. So this next piece of music, I got to tell you about my friend Doug Hammer, who lives in Boston. Many might know him. Doug's a wonderful wonderful pianist and arranger, and he does studio stuff. And we reconnected out in at the NAMM show this year, and kind of exchanged notes. Then we both dove into this live stream thing together, you know. And so it's kind of like comparing notes and talking about our OBS settings and how to get the delay away from the piano and all these kind of technical stuff. And we kind of compared notes, and he's up doing it. But he wrote this piece of music called My America. His name is Doug Hammer, and make sure you make a special note of it. I'll even it's just one of those things. I really going to let people know you got to go hear this. I was so emotional when I saw this thing. It brought tears to my eyes. It was such a moving piece of music. And he did it with it as like a background for a beautiful film, reflecting what we're going through here. It's really touching. So it's called My America. And Doug Hammer, I emailed him today and texted him. I says, hey, man, I'm going to put my best foot forward with your tune tonight. So it's, I hope you enjoy it. It's called My America by the great Doug Hammer. And be sure to check it out on YouTube. It's up, and it's marvelous. It's a really cool thing. Okay, and here we go. They have it, My America by the great Doug Hammer, and good friend. And I'm told him I'm going to put the word out about his beautiful piece of music that he wrote, and it's just something that it's just such a touching piece, and he plays it so beautifully, and the pitches that were associated with it are just extraordinary. So anyway, this brings me up to my last tune of the night. Well, almost the last. I have my original at the very end. That I like to end my show with, my Forever April. This next one is called, everyone again knows I was a skier. And my sister-in-law, I see Sherry, thank you Sherry, thank you Pam, and Sherry knows I was a ski instructor, of course, because her kids learned to ski by me. They came to New Hampshire, and they're from Florida, and never been on skis, and we went up, and they were skiing Wildcat, so in New Hampshire. So I got them up in the hill, and we had some fun. But my kids, I was very dedicated about I love the sport. It's a lot like playing jazz piano, and because it's a very free thing, it's a lot of fun. But I have we moved to here from New Hampshire, and I'm going to tell you the name of the piece first, and I'm going to show you the history behind it. It's wild. The name of the tune, actually, I'll do it in reverse. I'm going to show you a little bit about the story, and I'll tell you how the song title came in. My son Ryan, I'm going to highlight him today. I'll never forget the time. Here's some pictures here. I'm going to show you some things. This is some cool memorabilia, and here we go. And this is my son Ryan, and just a baby, up in the hill. I was teaching skiing there, and I'd be up, and he'd be on the rope tow all by himself, just going and going and going and going for hours. And then people would take him up, because he couldn't get on and off the chair. He's too little. And he was skiing the whole mountain, and he was like a little buster, And but anyway, this was at King Pine. I'd be doing a lesson, and it was my daycare. I'd have Ryan with me, so I'd take him to the mountain, and he'd ski all day, and all my buddies there would watch him. So it was like they'd take him for runs, and so it was cool. And here he is with, I'm not sure if Torrin is in here, but Ted's son. Ted was just in here. This is me when I was 5 skiing with his friends in New Hampshire. He's off at Attitash, great big mountain, on a day off of school. And here he is in kindergarten, man, with his little buddies, and here he is, just, the kid couldn't, most people like to keep the skis on the snow. This kid was like, wants to see how high he can launch himself and throw himself off of things. Here he is at 5 years old, flying off these jumps, and just always, just pretty athletic. And here I am with him, get my workout, keeping him under my hand. But he's got skiing, so it made it really fun. And there he is, going off a giant back of a half pipe at Flagstaff. And here we are at Flagstaff. He was on the race team. They were training. There's all the racers up here, and it was spring skiing, obviously. Yeah, Ted just said T isn't in that one, but yeah, they were skiing all the time together, Ted. I remember that. But yeah, definitely grabbing air. So here's me with my Hawaiian shirt. It was a spring skiing in Flagstaff, and here's Ryan with his King Pine race jacket on. He's doing some gates here on a course. And here he is going off the back of the half pipe. You're supposed to go back into the half pipe. He hit it full speed, and he had I was going up in the chairlift, and I see all these people going, my God, who's this? What's this going on over here at this hill? And I see all these people gathered around, and it was my kid. He was hitting these jumps and he had this giant crowd of people watching him go off the back of this thing, like 30 feet in the air. This was almost as high as a chairlift, and he's going off the back of it. And here he is. I think he's about 7 here. And here we are skiing in New Hampshire. This is before I'm going back in New Hampshire here. A typical day, all sweaty and helmets, and been a day of skiing all day. And that's a tired boy. Now, this is my priceless picture of my son after a day of skiing with his dad. I told him to watch this tonight, because this is going to be, he'll probably kill me for putting these pictures up here of him. But It's really cool. And then here we go. He called me. I was playing piano at the Ritz-Carlton. We first got here, and he was on the race team. And he said, "Dad, I was on the box." And I couldn't understand what the heck he was talking about. But he won first place as the state champion here and GS. And they always introduced him, Ryan Delaney from the East, because he was, these kids were used to skiing on ice. So he got up there and he was like Superman. So it was the coolest thing because now this is the box he was talking about. He was on the tallest box, which meant he won the medal. And then there he is with his getting ready to do a gate. Imagine the fear looking at this course going down with all these gates, and this kid is so anyway, yeah, great memories, Ted. You know it too well, buddy. It's just one of those things, but I couldn't wait to share this. So this brings back the song. So we're in New Hampshire, and that black thing he's on, it's called Chuck Roast. So he lived in these things. He was just so little, and he's up at the top of these things, and and he's like fearless, man. And but anyway, he'd have this fleece on. It's called Chuck Roast is the name of the company, and it's all like fleece outerwear. And I was writing this music in the and I didn't have a name for it yet. And it's kind of it's kind of an up-tempo thing. And he came in and I says, "Ryan, those are very hot pajamas." This was July, man, and he's in these things that were meant for 20 below, So I'm like, "Ryan, those are hot pajamas." And we had a good laugh and chuckled, and he's 7 years old. And he goes, "Dad, what are you writing?" I says, "I'm writing hot pajamas." He goes, "No way." And so I was in my Finale software, and you got to see this. It says hot pajamas right on it. And he just his eyes popped out of his head. He goes, "Dad, no way. You're going to..." So I call it hot pajamas. So it's really a fun little kind of a jazz tune. And this goes out to my son, Ryan. He's 23 and is an extraordinary skier. And for those that haven't skied, it is one of the most amazing sports. And coming to Arizona, first year we were here, they had over 400 inches of snow. So my kids were like, "Wow, this is only 2 hours away," and they had like so much snow. We were making the drive, but they were spoiled because we were roll out of bed and we were on the hill in 10 minutes from our house. I had my skis in the locker there, and so it was kind of a ski lifestyle. And actually in New Hampshire, just so you know, for people that don't know the ski lifestyle, schools closed. I think it was Tuesday or Wednesday, and they closed, and they had like 33 instructors. I was one of those volunteer instructors, and you take all the kids and they get graded. It was a half a day at school, and they take all the skis there, and they teach the kids how to ski. So if you don't ski in New Hampshire, you're like a black sheep, So it's like all the kids there are just extraordinary skiers. I remember seeing I was night skiing one time, and my daughter Brooke, I was skiing with my nephews, and they go, "Who was that? It's giant flying through the air." It's like, it's dark out. They had like lights night skiing. And it landed, and Brooke had on another jacket, one of her brother's jacket or something, and it was Brookie, my other daughter. So they all skied, raced, and and it was kind of GS suits and everything. So it's a very, very special time in my life. But anyway, I'm gonna play some hot pajamas. I'm gonna come back and leave you with one more. Okay, here we go. have it, Hot Pajamas, going out to my son, Ryan, who's 23 now, and good kid. He's working over at the Grey. He's actually at ASU, but he's working at the Greyhawk Country Club, so it's definitely a fun one. So anyway, I want to thank you all for coming tonight again. This has been, the hour just flies by. I could do this all night. So, and again, I try to do different tunes every single show, different memorabilia. I got a lot of cool things coming in the future. I mean, I'm going through all this memorabilia, and I'm like, my God, I got so much stuff. So next week, I'll be back here Saturday. Very special one. All my original music from Quarantine. So it's basically 8 originals, and they're all quite nice. This next one will be a sampling of it. It's the very first one I wrote. It's called Forever April, and I'll leave you with that. And so hope to see you back here next Saturday at 5 o'clock. Until then, you all have a great rest of the week, and I look forward to seeing you again next time. Okay? Take care. God bless.